Once upon a time in the land of Egypt, there was a king called King Pharaoh. He was known for being harsh and proud. He would never give up his slaves without a fight. Moses and Aaron would need faith, courage, and most importantly, God's help. When they arrived at Pharaoh's palace, the golden doors opened to reveal the towering king on his throne. Guards stood by with spears, and the hall was full of scribes and servants. Moses stepped forward, saying, "The Lord, the God of Israel, says, 'Let my people go, so they may worship me in the desert.'" Pharaoh narrowed his eyes. "Who is the Lord that I should obey him? I do not know this God, and I will not let the Israelites go." And just like that, Pharaoh made life even harder for the Israelites. He ordered his taskmasters to stop giving the people straw for making bricks. They had to find their own straw, but still make the same number of bricks every day. The people were crushed, they were tired, and they blamed Moses. "You've made it worse for us," they cried. Moses was heartbroken. He prayed, "Lord, why have you brought trouble on these people? You said you would rescue them." God replied with compassion and power, "Now you will see what I will do to Pharaoh. I will stretch out my hand, and with mighty acts of judgment he will let my people go." And so the plagues began. 1. The Nile turns to blood. Moses and Aaron went back to Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go." When Pharaoh refused, Aaron struck the Nile River with his staff. Instantly the water turned to blood. Fish died. The river smelled terrible. No one could drink it. But Pharaoh's magicians copied the miracle. Pharaoh didn't listen. 2. The plague of frogs. God sent frogs everywhere, into homes, ovens, beds, and even the palace. Pharaoh begged, "Pray to your God to take the frogs away, and I'll let the people go." Moses prayed, and the frogs died. But Pharaoh changed his mind. Then the third punishment was 3. The plague of gnats. Aaron struck the dust with his staff, and the dust became gnats. They swarmed people and animals. This time, even Pharaoh's magicians said, "This is the finger of God." But Pharaoh still refused. 4. The plague of flies. God sent swarms of flies all over Egypt, but not in the land of Goshen, where the Israelites lived. Pharaoh promised again, then broke his word again. 5. The death of livestock. All the Egyptians' animals died. Horses, donkeys, camels, cows. But the Israelites' animals were untouched. Still, Pharaoh's heart was hard. 6. The plague of boils. Painful sores broke out on the Egyptians. Even the magicians couldn't stand before Moses. But Pharaoh refused to listen. 7. The plague of hail. God sent the worst hailstorm Egypt had ever seen. Fire flashed through the sky. Crops were destroyed. Pharaoh cried, "I have sinned. Pray to your God to stop it." Moses prayed. The hail stopped, and Pharaoh changed his mind again. 8. The plague of locusts. Locusts came like a dark cloud, eating every plant and leaf that was left. Pharaoh said, "Go worship your God, but leave your women and children behind." Moses said no. Pharaoh refused again. 9. The plague of darkness. Thick darkness covered Egypt for 3 days. People couldn't see, they couldn't move. But in Goshen, the Israelites had light. Still Pharaoh refused. God was showing his power again and again. Each plague proved that he was stronger than Egypt's gods, stronger than Pharaoh's throne, and stronger than any earthly power. But Pharaoh's heart was like a stone. 10. The final warning. God told Moses there would be one final plague, the worst of all. About midnight, God said, "I will go through Egypt. Every firstborn son will die, from Pharaoh's son to the child of the lowest servant. But among the Israelites, not even a dog will bark." God instructed his people to prepare a special meal called the Passover. They were to mark their doorposts with the blood of a lamb. When the Lord saw the blood, he would pass over their homes. This time Pharaoh would listen.